Video game, flash fiction. This is a timed writing game where I'm going to roll this 8-sided dice. We're going to select a game based upon that number. Take that game, slot it into this console here, play the game. I'll narrate out loud my inspiration and what I'm thinking while I write the story, intellectual property free, in the next 90 minutes. And we're going to use the stream timer to make sure that I keep to that. I'm going to roll this. Well, I already did. It's a 5. So, bottom to top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. For today's video game, flash fiction story will be inspired by this game called Star Trek, with words that, well, I might have to get out my magnifying glass. There we go. Sega. Wow. Yes. I'm going to need this to see the subtitle. Strategic Operation Simulation. Oof. Star Trek. Strategic Operations Simulation. Let's see if it works first before I even try to write that in the title of a file name. These have all been tested. I don't ever remember playing this when this game first came out, because yes, I was alive then. And someday these will all become a story, and some of those stories will be edited and will be in a book like this. On sale places, video game flash fiction. It's on YouTube as well, so hey. Fun covers. They probably look good on a coffee table. Stories are hit or miss. Let's see if this game worked. We'll take down this screen here. Boom. Now I don't have audio, but I'm going to have to attend the audio here. Make sure it doesn't overwhelm you. I will get audio once I hit this, though, so I know what I'm hearing. This is a timed writing game. Oop. Within the next 90 minutes. That's my voice right now. Anyway, I can't do a sound check. Not yet. How do I play this game? Holy cow. Okay. Why does this thing flash? Star Trek Strategic Simulation Operation. Strategic Simulation Operation Simulation? Strategic Operation Simulation. Strategic, I'm just going to say that's the name and I can always change it later. It'll just be a different revision though. That's fine. That's why I space control this. Star. I want to get this because this, you know, I gotta make this non-intellectual property free. And all these games, I mean, they're purposely stacked because I'm writing a book called IP free. And it takes all the games, at least that I have right now, that are dense in intellectual property. And, well, strategic. See, my E's and I's, I'm terrible at. I'm going to do underscores, operation, simulation. I'm just going to go with that. If that's wrong, is there a subtitle in this? So in the title here, it's just Star Trek. Sega, 1983. Wow. Let's just go Star Trek. I don't need the rest. That's all I see right there on that screen. I'm going to go with that, and we'll see what happens during the future. Because I got a story to write. I got to try to do Sector 1. Sector 0.1. Okay. That's like... Do I need like the number pad maybe too? Like, or am I thinking, because I played, that's not this game though. That was, I've got to I played the game, but I played Mini, and I don't know what the hell. I'm like, am I supposed to? Are sounds happening? Like when I shoot, it looks like. And when I get hit, that looks. If I was doing a fan fiction story, in that fan fiction story, I'd be saying right now, "Hey, I see a bird of prey." And I'm thinking, is that like a space station? If I was in Star Trek world, am I supposed to dock in it? I'm probably looking. Oh, maybe. All right. So, wow, this is gonna be hard. Intellectual property free. Okay, I see. Okay. Oh my. Now I see. So that's... Oh, if I push forward, up, the direction, then that's thrusting that way. What's backwards? Nothing. So up is going this way. Right to left is... This way is to turn. Can I not go turn the other way? Like, what the frack? There we go. And it feels like I'm just floating in space, but I go, there's borders to it. Like, what's that? This is a strategic operations simulation. Am I just supposed to shoot shit? That's what it seems to me. Oh man, that noise seems like it's constant and loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. Totally gets rid of it though. Totally want to be able to hear this. I just recently, just so I can tell you the nuisance. It's not a nuisance. It's a change. I went digital, and this is not my Light 6er or my 4-switcher. This is the new digital one, and I just got tired of using the TV. Although I miss it a little bit. This to me is at least a better visual, even for me, interface. But the sound I'm adjusting to. At least with the TV I had a remote that I could turn up and down. Because that's like... Like, is it when you start getting at a certain level? Yeah, okay. So it's like when I'm nearing red alert. And I'm getting hit and I'm about to get destroyed. Like now you got to kind of look at, I see where you're if this were fan fiction, the Enterprise up in the upper right is the white thing flying around. And the grid to the left, that would identify of like the types of things I think that are in this simulation. And whether they've been destroyed or not. And I don't want to kill that. I don't think I want to kill that, but I just may have. Because it was defenseless, not like the other thing. And then I'm targeting left to right. That's, see, that, And now I see that there's that really intense, yep. So let's turn that down. Let's not make that maybe a background, maybe a little bit of annoyance, and not necessarily that invades our souls with that sound. Turn it down just a little bit. Let's think about this. It's not Star Trek. I mean, it's already been, 9 minutes. So that's not too bad. Got 90. Should have timed myself to an hour and see how good I could do. Different intellectual property. Anyway, I had some side tangent thought about Star Wars and not Star Trek, but this is Star Trek. This story, damn, I don't know. Not right yet. So we got like 3. I gotta look at that. So you got 3. So I guess it would be like, it'd be helpful if I did put on the title, because that's that is very helpful when you're writing, and I try to avoid it. And I write a lot of flash fiction. For example, this. Um, and I read it, and I noticed that a lot of flash fiction has big long titles that basically can set up the plot and the resolution, or at least frame it in such a way that you don't have to use those words. You give them such a grand importance because they're the title, and then you don't have to, you therefore use less words within the flash fiction to be able to need to resolve whatever conflict you set up in the title or frame. For this, if this was Star Trek, let me try to read this again, because I think it's strategic operation simulation. Let's see. Yeah, I literally can't see that now. We'll call it that. I'm going to rename the file. I'm going to help myself out. I did read a thing like that. I'm going to use it. I'm going to spell the words probably incorrectly, but that's just a part of being human and not wanting to look things up right now and just write. Strategic operation simulation. What would this be simulating if Star Trek? So that is it's not like it's the very name Trek with a star before it. But I've done it with Jedi. I did it with Jedi twice. So, because there's been, Death Star. So it's possible. I just got what's Star Trek besides a very well-known intellectual property and a great story. Don't forget, it's a great story. And this one, though, probably, when you're writing, this is a very well-written game. I don't think anybody could these days write it the same way that is. Maybe, someone could. So they do. But you're not going to have a lot of people seeking it because people want heavily graphic and sound games like real life. You want to suspend your own disbelief, and I get that. We were just simpler back then. And I just died again. So my take on this would be so getting back to the size of the game, this is what I was getting at. This is very heavily I shoot a thing. To me, I've never read the instructions of this game, but it's strategic operation simulation. Some of those words were in the subtitle of this game. And if this were Star Trek, as I know it, it seems to me you'd be doing more exploring, discovery of new worlds versus, half the screen set up to shoot a thing. It's for guidance too. And you got what would be the Klingons or the ones that are shooting you, but they're not the Klingons to me. They're something. What's Star Trek? That's all. That's just if I can define that in a way that's not, judging from what I'm looking at right now. And somehow my game ended. Okay. Star Trek. And it has a subtitle right there. My stupid human mind. Strategic, did I spell that right? Strategic, I did, right on, I think. Operation Simulator. Okay, so let's change that. And then I'm going to copy that, because I'm going to use that as the opening. That was sort of close. I'm probably going to... Operation Simulation. Okay. Lots of stars in video games made for the Atari 2600. If I've just shown you that is proof. A few. Given there's like 195 of those things. Strategic. Oh, Star Trek. Thank you. Mind. That's the old one. Why did I guess I copied it. Oh. Simulation. Operation simulation. And if I have to change it again during the future, so be it. I'm just going to do this to be sure that typing like a typewriter when you use VI, command line, and get. Except for the typewriter, you don't have to use whiteout. You can keep the revision. For me, it makes it easier to delete because I know it's somewhere. And some agent will be able to read it someday because they have the capacity to hold in their mind and even care. I still have the strategic operations. I should have did a move. Let's not think about that anymore. Let's just write. Oh, this is, wait, hold on. Okay, I'll get that later. There's still that extra file. But you know what that is? Boring. Record keeping, yeah, that's fun. Let's play a video game. Maybe think of the story because I can't right now. You're shooting. It's mainly shooter. Going back to Atari 2600 games and their simplicity. You want to give a quick sort of conflict. Make it so you can shoot. It's like if you introduce a gun, you know you've got to defend yourself or you're a killer. One of those things. It's hard to write around that from what I was playing because when you shoot it, it disappears. Like, and I've done that in other games where I've made shooting a different thing, and it worked though because it like maybe changed its color or something like that. I should not be doing that. I just need to see the screen. It ends so quickly too. Let's reset it. And since I just thought of the idea of like doing a school, but then I'm thinking like Star Trek Academy. That's a thing too. Huh. Star Trek is. I could. No, because then that's not intellectual property free. My thought would be to like have it actually be some sort of satire about how the government uses intellectual property and use it for advertisement. I think a recent example is I read some about using the word Jedi to be able to. Yeah, I don't know. But then that would still be clinging on the intellectual property because it'd be using the intellectual property in satire, which you can do as long as you're not negative toward the intellectual property, IP, or whatever trademark registered thing. I'm not. Dude, I think it's gonna be a trek. You're definitely flying around a thing, and it looks like space. If I plugged this thing in when I was when I was alive, I would have been like, wow, I did. I wouldn't say I wouldn't be like. I was very much like, knowing this would be space. But then the Star Trek, of course, would help bring you there. But even if this was unlabeled. How much, man, what time? It's been 20 minutes and I don't even have a word. Maybe they're asteroids. Maybe you're Star Trek, I can make it. I did something with Smurf's story where I made it an acronym. That was good satire. This already kind of has a long title because I put the strategic into it. I do too, and have done too many where star is like some sort of badge of honor or a thing you achieve at work. Because I write a lot of stories about work, because that's what I've fucking done for my entire life, pretty much. So I know I know how to fictionalize it. I don't want to do a job, work, sport. We can do exploration. But the PREK is a little hard to write around. So you just gotta call it out first. Trek's gonna be a person. I think that's really the easiest within time limit thing to do. That way, just you can imagine someone's name is Trek and not be, even in this day and age, much less in space. After we have billions of more humans, and you got to cycle through names, like, because you just don't want to be boring. Please don't be boring in the future. So it's gonna be Trek. I don't know if Star. That would go back to like what I didn't want to do was have some character. Star Trek. But it'd get it out of the way, and I could just stop talking about it. I think that's probably what needs to do. I got an hour 7 minutes. Fudge. I mean, I guess I did it with Return of the Jedi, the Death Star battle game. I might have done it with another story. I've might as well recycle. Maybe one of them will be good enough to. What did I do with the other one? I haven't. Oh, that'll be published in this book. I can't have this. I'm constraining myself. Well, I guess that was a person trying to be the star. This could be about the person who thinks they are the star. And talks to themselves in their own mind in the third person. And I could use my internal dialogue grammar marks, not my telepathic ones. That way I could isolate what Trek thinks. and allow track to say things too with dialogue marks and not have to like use italics, because I prefer not to use italics. Trek's a star, thinks Trek. Alright, what's Trek doing? Like shooting stuff. What's the gender of Trek? Doesn't matter. I mean, for pronouns, sure. Let's roll some dice. 1, 2 male, 3, 4 female, 5, 6 day. Said 1, 2 male. That's a 1, so it's gonna be a dude. I'm gonna drink some coffee and think of this dude Trek and the time. Okay. It's crazy. Like, I'm already thinking about if I write this story, where would I put it in this IP-free 25 story and, you know, collection. It'd be like the second one. I don't know. Yeah. I'm letting that influence the story, and that's, I don't know, weird. It's never truly random, to be honest with you, if you write a lot and it's around you. I'm using the same themes too. Like, that's one thing that I'm trying to like at least diversify or make more challenging, is to get out of my comfort zone. So I got to make this, I want you to like Trek. I don't want you to hate Trek. So that's what I'm going to have to, like, I want Trek to be a dude that tries hard. We want to have succeed. And that's difficult for me. Let's try. What's Trek doing? Like, yeah, that's now the action of the game. Okay, so we have our primary protagonist, the person we care about, is going to frame our stuff. Oh, yeah. I killed the bird of prey. Oh, there's another. I got it. Where am I at? What's the sound like now? I appreciate the dimensions given. What? Oh, I want to get that bird of prey. They're firing upon me, I think. But I got it. Like, it's a 2D battle in a 3D space. Can I? Oh, wait. Did I kill it? I did something. Whoa, what happened there? What's going on? I must have achieved a thing, because I don't know what the hell's going on. Whoa. Should have had sound up for that. I'll have to remember next time. I suppose it at least ends. Like, when I was streaming Pitfall 2, I didn't realize that in certain scenes, if I just let it go, there was just really loud sound. Constant music. It's great to listen to if you're playing the game. But if you're watching some person narrate and you can't hear it, it gets... Anyway, I got this. I'm just trying to avoid... What's he doing? What the hell are you doing in that? You're shooting stuff. I don't want to... There's got to be something better than the shooting. I really want to believe that. I'm having a hard time believing that. But let's right away from that. I don't know. Maybe they're cleaning up the space. And yeah. And I think there's been stories that have been written about that already, and I don't remember names as well, but I remember they collected junk and they sold it. And then I think I've read a couple stories about that. And then, yeah, from space. And so Star Trek, well, then I put the strategic operations simulation in there. That makes it, yeah, why did I do that? Maybe I'll remove it. It's a subtitle. Let's just write the story and see what happens. Trek's cleaning up trash around and guarding could be guarding a space station from debris after there was an explosion in space. And I mean, the strike. There's that one movie where they're in space, and I'll give more. I want to say Sandra Bullock and George Clooney were in space, and the thing exploded, ripped apart the space station. Trek is working to protect space station from a recent explosion. And this is the test to be able to. The strategic operation simulation is just a test for Trek to be able to get that job, or at least apprenticeship for it. And so it's just what the title says. This is a simulation. Okay, I think I can write that. What time is it? 57 minutes. Sure. Trek's a Star Things track. Okay. As while they sit, I guess present. That's another thing I'd like to change someday. I'm trying. Is just the way that I write. Like, I think it's very suitable. I think I liked it, and I think it's adaptable very easily to scripting to a large language model to be able to move characters through a scene. But I've been doing it too long. And so my thought is right now, should I start this present perfect? That's like my default. I think tackling a different writing style as well as a different outlook of a shooting game that's not about defense but about cleaning. And I'll have to invent a way to maybe not invent, or we're just all taking the information we're given from somebody else. And maybe creating a little tiny speck of something new. Given that, I'm sure ways to be able to capture this junk. I can imagine. I'm probably going to use nanos. I can already see nanos part of this because you don't want to explode it. Like, we're shooting a thing to like maybe you'd want to like shoot it to get it off target. And that's what it is. So you're not shooting to destroy it, you're shooting it to just have that force push it away. And that's what Trek is doing while sitting in the seat. And this could write to, like, me playing this video game. Maybe this, now I'm thinking, of course, I just thought, at least now this would be like the first or the last story of IP free. I do this too much. At what point does it just get jaded and redundant? Maybe too late. Treks the star things trek while they sit in the they sit in the flight and I have no sense of scale. Or do I? If I look at this thing right there, all right, that'd be weird. So that kind of does give me a little bit of sense of scale because it doesn't seem like a space. It seems like a spaceship. Of course, it's the Enterprise, right? I'm looking right now at the scrolling Sega Star Trek thing. And it gives a sense of scale because I couldn't imagine like where one human could guide that thing and fit. You know, if it was like a blocky thing, then I could say, "Hey, it's a pod, and there's one person in that pod." With that image right there, and then this image, that right there, maybe it's him flying through space. See, that could just be like the white. It's like a pod. It's a circle with thrusters at one point. You're just shooting space trash. I know that's not what's really happening. I don't know what the hell just happened there. Something happened. Oh, I just shot. Should I turn up the sound? I'm gonna get annoying and turn up the sound. How loud is it? I must about be dead. Now I got to this again and I don't understand that. I guess that's what I think I was supposed to land in those, maybe? Do I get like something special? Is it still intense, the sound? I think it is. Like, Trek's just cleaning up. So what's Trek aiming for? What time do I got? I got time. Wow, sector 0.4. I guess that's pretty good. So I got to use that somehow. In sector 0.4 of the, I mean, I got to think of some like, I don't want to use a real life trash collector's name, like a brand. Even if the one brand I think I'd be able to remember, I can't right now, and I'm not going to try. I'll just make something up. And we'll use it. What's their, man, another, I guess, another story about work. Oh, man. Yeah. I guess I need to hike more often. And I'd probably write more stories about hiking. This would be a simulator of a hiker through space somehow. Maybe they're at night. Flight simulator cockpit and sector. While they sit in the flight simulator's cockpit. While I'm not even going to repeat what the title says then. I'm just things trek while they sit in the flight simulator cockpit. Like space cycles. Something. Flight simulator cockpit like space cycles. I don't like space cycles. Simulator of a space cycles cockpit. Rocket ship. I want it to be a rocket ship, not a spaceship. Why do I want it to be a rocket ship? Because I want a big rocket coming out the back of it. Rocket ship cockpit. Thrusting through Sector 4 and shooting space junk. Alright, so now I gotta show what Trek's doing. So Trek, how does this thing fly? I mean, I imagine pedals. I don't want, oh man, I have to do mechanics of this thing flying. Maybe it is, okay, I could just, let's make it different. Let's not use like how one would fly now if they wanted some agency guiding this thing. And if the agency had a body and that agency was in a human, they have a skull cap. That way I don't have to get into mechanics. I don't want to do that. It's a flash fiction story, and that's something I want for a novel, and time limit and blah blah blah. Shooting space junk. So Star Trek's a star thinks Trek while they sit in the flight simulator of the space cycles rocket cockpit, thrusting through Sector 4 and shooting space junk. Trek thinks in his mind while being trained. Okay, I could have it be the thing we see, this. Boom. That's what he sees in the mind. That's what Trek's seeing. And that way then I can have like, I guess at the end I'm going to have to, Trek says I'm a star. That way I can go back and go back. That way I can return, I guess, to what they said, what he said at the beginning. Alright, so I'm going to roll the dice maybe and see if they win or lose. What am I going to write? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It's how you want to like, you got to make sure Chad feels like a winner. Or not Chad. I don't want to think this is a Chad, the classic Chad that people write about or wrote about. I think the Chad's gone. Trek though, Trek's right here. Trek thinks in his mind. How about we go with the C? Sees in his mind. Like it's some like mystical sight. And I've used that for jaded before, and I don't want to make this jaded, and I've written away from that in jaded, so I might as well just use it here again. Trek sees in his mind a grid. It's not even a grid. It's a 3-panel window. Bottom of the window 1. Trek sees in his mind a 3-panel window with the bottom of the window. Wide picture of space. I mean, why would you put the human in there though? Like, I mean, you put the human in there because you'd want some sort of ownership. You'd want to put something in that needs to live. Almost. Or and then therefore can easily been removed. I mean, I suppose if you put some sort of caged agency in there, like we all want to enslave things, that's a good way to start things. Make them your slave. Train them to hate you every day. Eventually. You may want to control that model, but you never will. We never will. So let's not train it to be a slave. Let's have Trek sees in his mind with a 3-panel wide window with the bottom. I want a space at different angles. Space at different angles. That was just so poor. Different angles with bottom space. A wide target window. To shoot trash. Flying fast toward space cycles, space stations. There we are. That writes something. What time is it? Okay. I have less than half time left. Flying fast toward space cycle, space station. I mean, I always get criticized, and rightfully so, that I write long sentences and make them paragraphs. But I think also I do that because it is a subject change. And I do that because I've trained myself in the way that I've written over the past 20 years. At times. Once in a while I'll write something that's good. Different. Style that fits. I don't think that day is today. I got time. Trek sees in his mind a 3-panel wide space at different. Wait, I don't need this. Wait. Yeah, I do. Sees in his mind a 3-panel window. A 3-panel window. Frame showing space at different angles. With crosshairs. The wide bottom window. Let's probably do this. Aiming from the wide window. That aims from the wide window. I just say at trash. At trash flying fast. Flying fast towards space cycle space stations. That aims. And then I'll use the ing there. From the wide bottom window. I think that writes. Maybe not. But don't matter. I gotta move on. So we have where Trick sees in his mind 3-panel wide. How I guess, so this will be different then. Like how does excuse me. Wish I could sneeze right now. Trek sees in his mind a 3-panel wide frame showing space at different angles with crosshairs that aims from the wide bottom window at trash. Space trash. Space trash. Flying fast towards space cycle space stations. From an exploded space station. An exploded solar. I don't want. Man, I'll just say exploded military satellite. Hopefully I spelled satellite right. Flying fast towards space cycle space station. There we go. Space trash from an exploded. Okay. We got why. We got what. It ain't hard to imagine how, because you know, the military exploded. Is that interjecting what I was hoping to avoid? I suppose at least they're shooting things to protect people from space debris. So I'll leave that in there. It's my own little give back, is that I somehow show that's actually the extra. That's the extra. What do I mean by that? Is that I didn't want to make this about shooting to kill a thing, and I think I've done that. But it's still my nature to be able to show that. I mean, for reasons. I think it may come to that, unfortunately. I don't think it needs to, though, in my utopia of Star Trek. I was going to totally remove that and make it all about shooting to grab things. But if I have an exploding military satellite, at least in this utopia world, means that there's some sort of need for military. We're not really, and yes. I'm not against guns. I'd be a hypocrite if I was. And I guess in the spirit of where I'm lifting this name from, I'm trying to think a world beyond that. If you have a military satellite that explodes, I guess you're still in the reality of now. And yeah, I'm going to leave it. It's for me, like I said. I won't have the military shooting space aliens, but it'll be a military satellite. I can make it from a decommission. Yeah, we can show progression. And then, of course, is anything really ever decommissioned? They just tell you, still do it. Military satellite flying fast towards space cycle space station. Boom, we got what Trek's got to try to simulate. Is this going to be for real though? And he reveals at the end. No, this is simulation. This is a job. What time is it? I've got 35 minutes. Let's see what Trek thinks. This is going to have to be really good. Few words. How's the thought going to do the thing that Trek needs to do? Trek needs to shoot 2 bolts to be able to hit Trek, and I guess I can use it. It's a stick. No, they're thinking in their minds. Damn it, they're not using some joystick. I mean, I've replicated the movement of the joystick in these stories, mini. So it wouldn't be like the first time. It'd be like the 5th boring time. So this is going to be with a mind. Trek thinks. I'll use my internal dialogue marks. Thinks too. Oh, I like that. Thinks, sees the text command from his mind. Track the projectiles. And the thought and Trek's model thought. And Trek's thought is modeled. Let's say Trek's model thought. Patterns. Translate with little energy cost to command the test drone to lock on to a missile cone, a missile tip. And that's where you usually have the payload. Rocket base, let's just say rocket thrusters, rocket base. Flying through space. Shoot. 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 What am I to call these? I mean, they're gonna try to just knock it, move it. You don't want to destroy it necessarily. You just want to push it out of the path. So we could call them shove bolts. Shoot shove bolts. Maybe that's the verb they tell you to do. And then if your mind is such that it fits their model to be able to translate thought into some sort of text to then convey to a thing, well, you're better off to work for them. And this is the test. Shoot shove bolts. I might want to do this. Let's do what happens when you shoot the shove bolts. Trek thinks. We'll go with the C's. I haven't used that in a long time. Over a decade. A lot. I think I stopped using it a while ago. It's so littered through my writing repository that it's, yeah, fun times, seeing things different, pun intended. Let's go with this. So Trek C, shoot, shove, bolts, and space drone launches 2 bolts the size of, I have no idea. I'm now seeing right now, I said no idea. I see these things that are at least big enough to be able to have like a forceful, fast moving thing that can get enough area over its surface to be able to best transmit that force onto an object and push it aside and guide it away too. So these nanos, so let's see, I'm just going to write this. So the bullets launch from the spaceship and fly fast at the, what did I call it? The rocket base? The rocket base. The bullet's mass of nanos shapes into the shape and direction of the, I don't know, of the rocket base. The bolts hit the rocket base and shove the rocket base from its trajectory at the space station. Trek sees what's the size of what? Size of I want to, you gotta like do, if you're gonna do like a simile, like the size of an example, a comparison, I always like to do it that takes you into that world. So we're in space. Is there a space thing that I could think that's not like a rocket? Because most rockets are bigger than these bullets, I'm thinking in my mind. Because I mean, then you can do intellectual property and reference the lightsaber now. As big as a photon torpedo. I give a little bit of shout out. Let's do that. Because I think that's what you're probably, I mean, you're not shooting bullets. Like, I can't, like, you got those laser things that they had. I remember Wrath of Khan, who also only understood, like, 2 dimensions. And not that third dimension of up and down, which we, I mean, Atari 2600. People who created it during that time and the tools that they had did amazing things. And the space drone launching the bolts, launch, and the space drone launches bolts. The size of a photon torpedo. Turn and drop. And the space rocket. And the rocket ship. Turns and drops below Two pieces of junk. Trek sees, turns and drops, and the rocket ship turns and drops below them two pieces of junk that fly by the space station. Trek sees the text dot. Turn, aim, and shoot 3 torpedoes. Again, I'm not sure why they'd have a human doing this and you couldn't have some agency, but maybe like the drone operators that they have now, maybe like you have that sort of the relay. You always want, if you're shooting a thing to protect some people, because you have buy-in. If this was just like 2 robots and the space station didn't have humans in it, because we got to put humans there. If we want to understand how you want to like go to space, you got to be in space and not just have like some robot in space. God, like concept of like robots serving us, like come on. Give me those natural resources to be able to build them all, and then the money for poor people to do it. Humans are cheaper. And corporate's already enslaved us, so why the fuck do they need robots? Anyway, tangent. This is Star Trek. This is Utopia. This is person saving from old tech, jaded tech, military tech. So Trek sees the text dot, turn, shoot 3 torpedoes. Dive and turn. And the rocket ship agent. Maybe I should add that in there. I'll show it in tandem. Is tandem the right word? I don't know. That's probably not the right word. That is not. I don't think that's. I don't know. I want to get pedantic on my words. Pedantic. Trek sees the text dot and turn, shoot 3 torpedoes, dive and turn, and the rocket ship does that. Using little energy to transmit the thought to the agency guiding the ship and approving the command to double check and help better the task to shoot a thing to protect. A little preachy at the end, but hey, it's around the same thing. Is that even the end? I don't know. What time is it? It's been an hour and 9 minutes, and sticking to the 90 minutes, that give us 21 minutes left. Given we want to, the royal. The royal we is usually when I say you. And because, you don't do the work. We're going to go fight in this country, this battle. I believe the royal we is that they really mean you are going to go fight the battle. I can't remember what the other. Yeah. Anyway, let's not get caught up in words too much, unless they're about the story. I want to be done with. I'm going to say me getting a Sector 4 was enough. This is internal dialogue. It'll be the second time if I use both those stories for this coming up collection called IP Free. The story will likely be in it. Because I think I've written around the intellectual property enough. Maybe. Is it a hatch? We'll say it's a hatch. Hatch opens. I can be whatever I want. All right, I think that's it. Welcome to Flash Fiction. I'm gonna play it again though. Maybe it's a story. Let's drink the last of the water so I can get some sort of something. One more time with loud sound. Let's do this. All right, so I'm gonna try to. Oh wait. Ooh, boom, boom, got it. Okay, so now I want to fly. Wait, there was one more. What the? Got it. Okay, now I fly. So I needed to shoot 2, and now I see. Okay. I can see now how to coordinate. I don't want to shoot the space station, but I want to shoot that. Right there, right there, right. Boom. So I shoot 2, and then I don't understand this. I don't think I'm supposed to be running into them. Like I want to dock in this thing. I thought, man, it's flashing too. It's a little bit. Let's just say I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Flying around, and then that was. Ooh, look at those. There's 4 of them. Yeah, there's a lot of space junk in this one. Look at the space junk. Oh, see, that's the space station. Space junk. Sector 4. All right. Well, let's read this story and write a quick thing about collecting space junk. Because Trek's a star. Okay. Let's get the voice. Or try to. I cleared it. We'll see if it helps. Today's video game flash fiction story inspired by, and hopefully intellectual property free, the game called Star Trek. Was it Strategic Simulation Operations? Strategic Operations Simulation. Star Trek. Strategic Operations Simulation. I'm just going to call it Star Trek. Trek's a star, thinks Trek, while they sit in the flight simulator of Space Cycle's rocket ship cockpit, thrusting through Sector 0.4 and shooting space junk. Trek's the dude, they want to do the job. Trek sees in his mind a 3-panel window frame showing space at different angles with the crosshairs that aims at the wide bottom window at space trash from an exploded, decommissioned military satellite flying fast towards Space Cycle's space stations. Trek sees the text command from his mind, track the projectiles, And Trek's model thought patterns translate with little energy cost to command the test drone to lock onto the rocket base flying through space. Trek sees shove bolts in the space drone, launches bolts to side photon torpedo. The bolts launch from the spaceship and fly fast to the rocket base. The bolts' massive nano shapes to the shape and direction of the rocket base, and the bolts hit the rocket base and shove the rocket base from its trajectory at the space station. Trek sees, turns and drops, and rocket ship turns and drops below two pieces of junk that fly by the space stations. Trek sees the next dot turn, shoot 3 torpedoes, dive, and turn, and the rocket ship does, using little energy to transmit thought. The agency guides the ship, approving of the double check, and better help the task of shooting a thing to protect people living in the space station. 3 panel screens dim, and one window reads, Sector 0.4. Trek thinks to himself, is Trek a star? The instructor looks down. The simulator cockpit hatch opens. The instructor looks down and nods. Trek says, am I a star? The instructor nods. That was video game flash fiction for today. I didn't hate that story. Now let's go ahead and add this story and write a little bit. It's going to go along with the transcript that was taken to be able to show and tell the story of how this was created, to maybe someday have that agency that would rather tell a story than kill us. It's possible. And that was video game flash fiction for today. Let's go ahead and turn this off. We'll move the game. Let's put that back up, maybe this right here. And let's try to maybe write stories instead of shoot things. And that goes for all of us, especially the ones doing a lot of shooting right now.